this computer chip shortage is causing big backups in a lot of different industries and might even cause a little more trouble down the road with countries like China. President of Crean, a Texas-based innovation company that accelerates product delivery through integrated engineering and smart manufacturing. James Crean on the live line with us. That's my first question, James. Thanks for doing this. But how did we get into a situation like this?
Well, it takes a little while, and it takes some time. We invented the computer chip. We were the first to design them and make them. But now, over time, that manufacturing has moved largely to Taiwan, also to China proper, as well as to other places around the world. And now none of the advanced chips that we use in our cell phones and our military equipment and, advanced satellites and things like that are made in the United States. They're all made overseas.
Wasn't there a thing called Silicon Valley? You mentioned we invented this thing. Can't they just throw a couple pole barns up and start making these things?
Well, if you got about $10 billion or so in a couple of years, you could turn a pole barn into a semiconductor fab, as they're called. So it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of money, and so yeah, there's a lot of work to do in order to try and bring that manufacturing back to the U.S. There are some movements in that direction, but it's going to take a little while.
I was going to say, James, that's usually the way of the world when it comes to business, right, is when we have a situation like this, the positive news, and it might take a while, but coming out of it is that someone's going to get creative, if not multiple, and realize that there's the need here, and why not try to manufacture in the States if you can, like you said, you guys have done. But it's a difficult process, but we're going to have to look at that in a lot of different things, not just computer chips, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And, just one other thing that's important to realize is, the Chinese and these different countries, they're putting, 40 to 70% of the cost of these chips and the cost of the fabs to build them is being provided by the government. These are heavily subsidized. They recognize the importance of moving that manufacturing to them. And we need to realize that we have to have manufacturing here in the United States of chips. They are critical to everything that we do, every piece of electronics that we use in our lives. And it doesn't just start with chips and end with chips. It's so important that we have complete critical supply chains from raw materials all the way to finished goods in so many of these areas. And we've seen that when the supply chain, even with just, things like, if you want to have a mask or your pharmaceuticals and you don't have the constituent chemicals and that being produced here in the United States, you're stuck. And when you get into these kinds of situations, and it's a national security imperative that we move more manufacturing back to the U.S.
James Crean is the president of Crean. A pleasure. We appreciate your time today.
Thank you.